Hi there. I believe you just visited Split.
Yes.
So, Split in Croatia. What do you think of Split?
Well, generally, I think you could do it at least in 2 days. I feel that everything you can see, everything you can do in the sense of as a tourist,
Right.
2 days is more than enough.
Okay.
I think there's enough of Croatia that you can see. If you do the day trip, again 6 to 7 hours, I feel that you can again do a huge amount. If you're willing to walk, if
Yes.
you're not actually willing to walk, I feel that you probably need more than a couple of days, especially if you're going to do any transport and whatnot. The buses are really good as well around there. So
Right, okay.
we went from where we are in Togir all the way to there within about an hour.
Okay.
On the public
And you're
transport.
travelling with a family, aren't
Yes,
you? How
family of
easy do
four.
you think it is as a family to get around?
The only issue that we found here is we wanted to cycle. But
In
they only
Tregear?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everywhere. I think,
Everywhere.
Anywhere to go in. They only do 12 plus. And my children
Oh.
are 6 and 9. So
Right.
anything that's bigger, in a sense of like having they can't get the bike size for
Okay.
that age group.
Oh,
Or else
no.
yeah, exactly.
Holland is really good for biking with kids, isn't it?
Well, again, also Italy was the same. We were able to get they weren't exactly exceptional bikes, but again,
Yeah.
we were able to get that. So I think that was one of the only downsides of being here as a family is that
Right.
buses, children are free. We have to pay. So all of that is something. But I think Split itself is something again to see the main town, to see the attractions. 6 hours is easy to do. But if you are willing to walk, again, I feel that is a great thing. But with the children, I think the prices, if you wanted to have ice creams, it is a little bit more expensive than
Yeah.
Target where we are at the moment.
Okay. How
So,
much was an ice cream in Split?
Around €2, €32.80.
Okay, yeah.
Which
And
is-
when how many children have you got? Two.
Yeah.
Two,
So,
right.
I-
It adds
again,
up, doesn't it?
It will do after
It
a
does
day,
add up.
especially when they want it 3 times.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but here in Togir again, it's €2, so
Uh-huh.
there is a big difference. But
Oh,
again, you're
good.
in a tourist area. So I do
Yeah,
believe that there is
absolutely.
something there, but
So, are young children bored with the old towns? I mean, is there,
not
you know?
really. I think you're going up the clock tower.
Yeah.
You can do 4 things on I think parents again are the ones who pay. The children are free
Right.
to do those, so it is pretty decent. I think it was about £30 for us to do 4 areas. So you do the crypts, you do the treasury, you do the bell tower, and you can go into the cathedral.
Oh,
and the bell
nice.
tower's really worth it. It is a little bit tight to get up at the start,
Yeah.
so it's very high. You know, if you are again for the first second floor going up, if you're not willing to walk or you have got instability on your knees, it's going to be difficult, especially coming down. They're around about a foot or 2
Wow,
foot high.
really?
Steps to
That
go.
high?
The first ones, at least.
Wow,
So
that is high.
generally that's something as again.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's quite good. So if you are taking children, you might want to, if you want to see the cathedral, great. Do the treasury and the baptism. It's the treasury and the baptism, the baptismal area, which is again very quick. They would get bored.
Yeah.
But doing them in between, so doing the 4 is great. Again, great money for us. Isn't it?
Yeah.
It was €30 for
Yes.
2 of us to do that.
Uh-huh.
But if you are really wanting to do it, the children are free up to I think the age of 7.
Well, it's important to know that because it's all expenses, isn't
Yes,
it?
so-
What do you think of the price of tourism at the moment?
Expensive here.
Yeah.
Especially food. I think all 4 of us went to somewhere that's a fish bar. It's not far from here in Togir, and we went into there. And for us to have drinks, so we did have a couple of a beer each.
Yes.
And then they had they had just a lemonade.
Yes.
And we had basically it's a fancy fish and chips.
Yeah.
And that was €65.
Wow.
Just for us to eat at that time of night,
Yeah.
that's a reasonable, cheap area.
Is it really?
Yeah. No,
Wow.
thank you, Ben. So that is generally something that is, as I say, for me, you've got to really budget for if you're going to eat every night.
Wow.
Whereas we have a local where we will go and buy breakfasts and lunches and whatnot, and we live in the apartments. So
Yeah.
that's our budgeting. Whereas
Yeah.
we can eat at the evening, but if you were eating out for lunch, eating out for breakfast, eating out for dinner, you are talking probably €200 for a family a day.
So let's ask a little bit of an interesting question. You've obviously taken your kids out of school at this time, is
No.
that correct? No, really?
It's the time.
It's your
next
half
week for some,
term.
there is
Yeah,
some
yeah.
time
My
holidays next week.
grandchildren's are next week.
Yeah.
I have to take them to Disneyland Paris.
I don't think
With
I'd
no
enjoy
money. Have you
no,
ever been to Disney?
I wouldn't probably.
You wouldn't?
No,
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not exactly somewhere where I would go. Or Disney World.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
interesting
yeah.
for me, but the kids, they're not really too interested. fantastic.
So you sound to me like you're a very outdoors person. So where's your best destination for travel with children with outdoor activities that they don't get bored?
To be fair, I think the best place was the south of Italy. We went to Puglia, which again, that because of the transport, it was very easy to go and get a train. Easy to get, buses, trams, everything around, and again up to the age of. Also the expense. We went from Brindisi to Otranto, which again is via Lecce, but we went quite a distance, and that was around €6 each for me and my wife.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Again, the children are free up to 11 years old.
This is a really good tip for people.
Exactly.
Because it all adds up the expense, doesn't it?
Well, we do as cheap as possible.
Well, yeah, you have to these days, don't you?
Well,
our money doesn't go anywhere.
I mean, we're also not ones to be all inclusive.
That's
not the way. I don't think going as a family.
Yes.
Unless you really just want to sit by a beach.
Exactly.
A pool,
Yeah.
Which we don't do.
No.
So for us, also again, within Puglia, it was very cheap. I think it was probably about €30 for the bikes a day. So for all of us to take it for 24 hours, and that was accessible and also able to be to lock them up out front and put keys in something. They didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
We just had them until we were finished.
That's
that
great.
So I generally, just because of the price, also the accessibility of going places, and also the price of
Food
gelato, food. I never felt we had less budget than we have today on this trip, and we were there for 7 days, not 5 that we're here.
Right. Okay.
And we went home with money.
Oh, that's good.
So the only good thing about Croatia, and I would probably say last time we were in Croatia, we went to Zadar, is don't use the local taxis.
Oh,
Use
yeah,
Uber.
yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
Uber is something that we found that is probably half the price of the normal taxis in the areas. So if you go to the normal taxi that's in Split airport to here, it would be probably twice the price of the normal Uber.
Yeah.
However, we did get the bus.
Yes.
Getting into bus from here in Trogir, the
37.
bus station.
Yeah.
It was only for us for return. It was €10.
Yeah.
The children were free.
That's
so again,
good.
that is good.
Have you found the
bus?
buses really packed? Because we have. Absolutely
time.
shocking.
Yeah,
Peak time,
peak
we
time.
went 7 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock,
Right.
7 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
Every time.
And it's absolutely disgustingly packed.
Well, the good thing is that I work on public transport. I
do
drive
you?
trams in Manchester.
Oh, very
So
nice.
what I liked about here is they do ticket checks. So they test if you actually check if you're paying or not.
Absolutely, every time,
Yeah.
except the ones when they probably couldn't move through. But yeah, they do check.
We did this, which I think that again it's something I like because I think you should be paying.
You should, shouldn't you? But otherwise,
but generally,
prices.
I think around here is, as I say, it's a nice place. I think Trogir is just as nice to walk around the old town as it is in Split.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
Again, it is a little bit cheaper to eat, because if we were to eat in Split, I would have probably said it was probably going to be more.
Yeah, hiya, and hello, how are you? And so do you install a little bit of history when you're going around with the kids?
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's educational as well, isn't it? Taking children to different cultural places.
I think we try our best, but again, it depends. We've tried to make it as balanced as possible, but they enjoy the beach.
Yes.
So we've been allowing them to be on the beach when they, like this morning, it was a little cooler, and we think, well, we can spend the day a little bit to come here, and it is only a 30-minute walk. So
it's good that you walk.
Well,
and the kids
at
want
the
to
end of
walk.
the day, they want gelato. They've got to walk.
Yeah, good idea.
There's
Thank you so much for your time. And what was your name, please? Steve. Thank you so much, Steve. This will be uploaded on Bev the Wanderer.
Okay.
Round about end of January, beginning of February.
Oh, you got
okay.
enough then.
Thank you very
No problem.
much, Steve. You